Hey guys, welcome back. And if you've been with us on this journey, we're unpacking my new book, We Want You, an allyship guide for people with power. So excited to talk with you about chapter two that by far and away has gotten the most positive feedback from advanced early readers in our community. They said, wow, this whole power with versus power over approach is really resonating. So, the biggest finding I had in the 50 hours I spent with thought leaders, experts, and senior leaders inside organizations was people with power don't understand the power that they have. The book opens with that metaphor about a fish in a fishbowl swimming and saying, hey, the water is kind of warm. And someone saying, what water? The other fish. We don't know the water we're swimming in because we're swimming in it. We don't understand the workplace norms because they've been so ingrained in us that our brain can't possibly take in all of this stimuli and know what to do with it. So we make mental shortcuts. And people don't realize the power that they have because they've always had it or the workplace has always worked for them, or maybe for folks of historically marginalized communities, it doesn't work so well for us because the workplace wasn't designed by us or for us. And so just shifting this paradigm, reframing power as a chance to be an ally is what chapter two is all about. And the key lessons in here is one, power with versus power over, which power with is saying, hey, let me introduce you to somebody that'd be great for your next opportunity, versus power over is, let me set up a lunch with you and this person so that I can talk to them on your behalf about the opportunity. See how that just like feels nuanced, still helpful, but it just feels like not the most helpful approach. It just feels a little icky. And so using our power for good means sharing it with others, which actually bolsters our power. So power is really infinite. It's not a zero-sum game as we unpacked in chapter one. So wielding our power for good, using it to help someone and then get out of the way so that there's not this codependence or saviorism associated with it. It's power with, and then values. Knowing your values is really critical to understanding how you want to show up as an ally or an inclusive leader. So, what are the values you hold near and dear to your heart? For me, fairness, justice. Found the right profession, didn't I? But what is really important to you? Is stability important to you? Conformity important to you? Is growth important to you? Knowing your values, and there's a Schwartz model of values that I find incredibly helpful, an inventory I reference in the book, where Schwartz did a bunch of research on kind of 10 core values. I also use another model from the Cultural Intelligence Center that I was certified in way back in 2017 for cultural intelligence and unconscious bias. We do an identities exercise where we talk about our identities and how we describe ourselves to others. You know, I'm a woman, middle class, upper education, etc. How safe do I feel expressing that at work, and how important is it to me? The challenge is when being a woman is really important to me, but I don't feel like I don't want to bring attention to that part of my identity in the workplace because I might have to cover up part of my femininity and dial up my masculinity to fit in with more male dominated settings. So, just an example of how we can understand our identities and leverage our identities, not from a shameful place, not from a bad place, but from a place of accomplishing good. And then really thinking about power as a chance to be an ally. What are the ally actions that are really important to you? And I'll just pull up on page 63. This is probably one of my favorite set of bullet points that I'll read from briefly, is offer power with support for others by asking, what does support look like for you? One of the most powerful allyship phrases I have ever learned, and I borrowed from one of my mentors, Erica Young, who's a fantastic human. Leverage your network and make introductions for people that might have less power, might have access to less folks with power. Invite those with less power to your meetings. Pay attention to who is excluded and purposefully include them. And then once you've shared your power, get out of the way. Resist power over antics. It's one of the most powerful things we can do as allies is to really understand our power Think about ways we could share it, be helpful for others in ways that doesn't cost us a thing, a little bit of time. That investment of time is going to be so much more helpful for someone else. And in one click of a mouse and one email, you can get more done for somebody than they can in months of trying to network and figure out the hidden rules of the workplace. So think about high potential people in your life, people you recognize and you would love to stay at your organization or love to be helpful for. How can you leverage your power for good? Power is a chance to be an ally. So if you're following along, we'll get into chapter 3, which is the final chapter of the individual section next week. You can head over to nextpivotpoint.com. There you can download a companion workbook, follow along with these thought prompts, and you can get a book. And even we're offering bulk orders, 20 or more. We'll offer some discounts and throw in some fun freebies to incentivize bulk orders. But if nothing else, the call to action is if you know this content well, it is not for you. Share it with somebody that could benefit from learning about allyship, a person with power in your life that isn't quite there yet. How could you use this book as an invitation to engage them in this conversation during these really challenging times? We need folks with power to stand up, to assert themselves, to use their voice for good. So thank you. Come back next week if you're interested in learning about chapter 3, which is the what's in it for me as an ally, all the allyship benefits we'll dive into next time.